Hey everybody, it's fitness and nutrition expert Shawn Stevenson from the Model Health Show, and I've got a special video for you today. And we're not in the studio, we don't have all the fancy lights, it's just me and you, and I'm making this video because it's the holiday season. You know what that means? Falling off the wagon for a lot of people. And then of course New Year's comes along, and then we make the resolution that I'm gonna get healthy this year, and we do the whole thing over again. But we've got to stop that stuff. It's just ridiculous. We've got to be able to navigate through the holidays and still be the fittest, healthiest version of ourselves. And I'm going to share with you 5, count them 5, powerhouse tips to help you to be able to navigate gracefully through the holidays and still be able to enjoy your food, hang out with friends and family, and not be the weird one who's like eating some celery and some birdseed or whatever. I don't know. And also not being the person who's nagging on everybody else because they're eating their lemon meringue pie or whatever they're eating. All right, so let's get into these tips. I'm just going to really bang them out for you. And this is going to be something that's going to be valuable for you for many years to come. All right, so tip number 1. Thanksgiving's coming up really quickly, and we know that usually we're eating later in the day. So tip number 1 is to start the day having a great, healthy breakfast. All right, this one is so easy to do. And why are we doing this? Because we're going to help us to defend against overeating later on. Because nutrient deficiency leads to chronic overeating. I talk a lot about that on my show. All right, so making sure that we're getting our micronutrients, microminerals, phytonutrients, essential fatty acids, polysaccharides, amino acids, all the stuff that our bodies need to be in a state of balance so that we're not flipping out when we see that baked macaroni and cheese. All right, so this is also, having that breakfast is where you get to control and modulate what you're putting in your body. All right, you're not going to be susceptible to what grandma is saying or whatever. All right, so this is the opportunity to have that big green smoothie with the kale in it and the green blends and the spirulina, whatever you're doing. Or it's cold outside for a lot of people, so maybe you're doing a hot chocolate with real whole food ingredients using coconut oil, almond milk, cacao powder, the real stuff where chocolate comes from. Maybe you're putting some fancy stuff in there like some reishi mushroom or some raw honey, you know, so, and you're having that as a real nutrient dense thing for the first meal of the day. Or of course you could do something more traditional like having a big vegetable omelet and maybe some sauerkraut, you know, with a lot of veggies in the omelet. All right, but either way, this is when you get to dictate what you're eating. So have a real strong, healthy breakfast, and that's going to help you not to act a fool when you get around everybody else for Thanksgiving dinner. All right. Tip number 2 is to be smart and avoid the food coma. All right. Do you know what the food coma is? AKA itis. Do you know what the itis is? It's basically when you're in a stupor, when you're in a drunken stupor from all the food that you've eaten, and you're uncomfortable. Maybe you unbuckle your belt and your pants. I remember my family used to do that. I'm like, why are they? I want to see my great aunt's pantyhose. Come on, I don't want to see that. But now I understand. It's like they got the itis. They're in such a stuffed state that all they can do is take a nap. All right, and you're over there sleep at some random person's house or at your family's house, and you become a part of the feng shui of the whole thing, of the building, because you're over there as an ornament sleeping. All right, so be smart. Don't eat yourself into a food coma and feel uncomfortable later and just like, I can't believe I ate all that. I don't know why I did that. Just be smart about it. You don't need to do that. I promise you, you're going to get to eat again at some point. And this isn't the opportunity like, oh no, I'm never going to eat again. Let me eat everything. You don't got to do that. Calm down. All right. So that's number 2. That's tip number 2, is to be smart. Don't eat yourself into a food coma. All right, tip number 3, and this is another really easy and powerful one, and you can do this. This one is this is like in the moment, power play move. Tip number 3 is to have protein and veggies dominate your plate. So you're going to get your plate, Thanksgiving, you're making your plate. Make sure that protein and veggies are the dominant force in your plate, 3/4 of your plate at least. And then you can have a little bit of the other, whatever random stuff. It's the holiday. Go ahead and treat yourself. But make sure that, you know, okay, you got the protein. Maybe you're having your turkey. You go ahead with that. Then you got the green beans or the kale salad or the greens or whatever it is, Brussels sprouts. I don't know. But pack your plate full of that and put a little bit of the other stuff. You know, the baked macaroni and cheese or the stuffing or whatever it might be for you. But just make sure that your plate is going to be dominated with those foods. And again, I promise you, you're going to get to eat again at some point. So you don't need to just flip out and load your plate with half of the plate is baked macaroni and cheese or stuffing. All right, and this is a good segue to the next tip, because, you know, speaking of stuffing, first and foremost, stuffing is just, the whole idea of it is kind of weird. You know, like we take the parts out of the bird and then we stuff it full of some stuff, right? It's stuffing stuff. We don't even know what it is. We're just stuffing it with some stuff. Now, be it a teddy bear we're stuffing, you know, Build-A-Bear workshop thing, or stuffing a bird, it's just kind of a weird thing. And tip number 4, let me make sure it's number 4. Tip number 4 is to focus on eating real food that we can actually recognize where it came from. All right, so your turkey, you can see where it came from. Go ahead, have at it. The greens, check. The Brussels sprouts or the green beans, go for it. The yams, knock yourself out. Stuffing, what is it? You know, we don't even know what it is, so we don't even actually know where it's derived from. It's lost its essence. It's lost its connection to nature and to what's real and natural and healthy. All right, so that's just something we don't want to focus on anyways at any point in our lives, not just the holidays. But again, have those things to a minimum, if at all, you know, and err on the side of being the version of yourself that, you know, it's like even scripturally that the understanding of believing ye have, you know, so actually operating in the world as if you already are that person. Okay, so how does that person that's fit and healthy, the person that you want to be, how does that person walk? How does that person talk? How does that person eat? What does that person think? What does that person do in relationships? And are they succumbing to peer pressure because other people are telling them, come on, baby, just go ahead and have a little bit of this, I don't know, upside down cake or whatever it is. It won't hurt. Everything in moderation. You know, we only use that moderation thing when it comes to food a lot of times. You know, we don't do that in relationships. I'm just moderately cheating on my girlfriend. Or I'm just moderately doing my job at work. You know, we only apply that to things that we want to make an excuse about. You know, and again, some stuff just isn't, it's just not cool to eat. You know, especially if you want to be the greatest, happiest, fittest version of yourself. All right, so I don't want to get too much into it. Let's get back to the tips. We're already at tip number 5 right here to wrap this thing up. And this one is another power play move. Super easy. Anybody can do this irregardless of what you eat. All right. Tip number 5 is to take a walk after your meal. All right. Just take a simple 15-minute stroll, and it's going to have some powerful effects on your insulin sensitivity. And here's a quick study I pulled out. It was a professor and chair of the Department of Exercise Science at the George Washington University School of Public Health and Health Services. That is a ridiculously long title, whoever this person is. And in this particular study, they stated that walking after a meal really blunts the rise in blood sugar. And again, that's going to secrete insulin, and insulin is your body's fat-storing hormone. All right, so we're talking about keeping you from storing a lot of body fat. And also they went on to say that this radically improves insulin sensitivity and helps to clean up your blood. Okay, so it's something simple. And it went on to say also it helps lower post-meal blood sugar for 3 hours or more. Again, this is valuable to do anytime, you know, especially for people with diabetes and insulin resistance, but for everybody who just wants to be fit and healthy. After Thanksgiving meal, take your behind on a 15-minute walk. The weather be all right, or put some gloves on. Or if you're in a nice atmosphere, you should be doing this anyways, you know. So this is going to help you to enjoy your meal, to assimilate your food, and to feel good. All right, so I hope these tips were valuable for you, and please share the people that you're going to go and see for the holidays, share this video with them so that they know what's up and they know what you're on to, and just share this anyways. You know, it's the holiday season and everybody can use some tips to stay fit and healthy. And for more information on me and my work, of course, you know where to go, the ShawnStevensonModel.com. And of course, check out the Model Health Show on iTunes. And I wish you all the best for your holidays. And I hope you have an amazing year coming up. All right, take care. Talk soon.